So who says shut up? I'm talking.
No, you don't be a dickhead. Don't do none of that.
But who said? Am I saying it?
In a minute.
Okay,
Let us get going. Let us get going.
Yattering.
Let us get going.
You
We
guys
natter.
speak, and then I will.
When you want it, but don't just.
But will I say it unnatural? Because you guys kind of do like, shut up, I'm talking.
Jack, it's not too late to ask him to leave. Okay.
Sure you want? I know I've got good questions.
I could just ask you all these introspective career questions.
I don't know very much about. Well, I'm not even going to spoil them.
Music. Whenever you're ready.
Oh, it's me. I thought you guys were going to do it.
No.
Shut up, I'm talking.
Shut up. I'm talking. Oh, shut up.
James.
Hello,
Marriott.
guys.
Oh, my goodness
Hello,
gracious.
James.
We're having you on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be here with my boys.
Thank you, James.
Thanks, James. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm having a nice day. I'm feeling
good. Where you been? What you been doing?
Well, where have I been? What am I doing? It's currently well, this is being shot a bit in advance because you're going to Japan, aren't you?
I'm going to Japan. That is true. I won't be in Japan by the time this releases, though.
No.
Really? Oh.
We got Tori.
Like
We got a lot of pre-filming to do.
Yeah, you're going to be away for months. You guys
Yeah.
looking forward to that?
Hey,
This is not how this works.
hang on.
You didn't
We've
hear
got
the episode we
questions.
just filmed where we spoke about that. So
Oh,
No. Don't never try that again.
What's flipping the script?
James, in this podcast, we have a segment.
Oh, God, here we go.
Oh.
The beginning of our podcast opens with us asking each other the worst moment of the week. That isn't happening because this is a guest episode. The guest episodes have a different sort of format.
So you asked me how I'm doing first.
Yes, that was part of the. That was part of my
We've
plan.
done that. We've smashed that.
And I'm the host. I'm the host role today now.
Oh,
in this
lovely.
bit, yeah.
He really likes structure in these things.
Right, yeah.
James,
Lots of control.
what? Yeah, don't analyze that.
Sorry.
Don't
I
psychoanalyze
need
that.
to, I'm
There's
kind of
nothing
doing
wrong
like-
with control.
No, there's nothing.
A lot of control. There's nothing wrong with a lot over people.
James, what was your worst moment of the week? Oh,
Wow.
And
Wow,
not-
Jack.
yeah.
Great question.
thank you. I tried.
I've alluded this to Tom already. Recently, something's happened, which is that Tubbo has been announced to be fighting.
No, we think
really
it's been
hope
announced
it's been
today
announced.
as of recording this. So hopefully
If
by
it
the time it's
hasn't,
out, it definitely has.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
And
Tubbo's
Over-
announced to be doing a boxing match at Create Clash.
over the last week, I received a message from. Well, I got followed first of all by Ayyildiz, right? And
Okay.
I was an old commentary YouTuber, so I've known of him for a while. I really liked his documentary on Dax Flame,
Yeah, that was a really good one, actually. I enjoyed that a lot.
and now Dax Flame is like actually
Big again.
huge.
And I think
Who is
Ayyildiz
that?
is partially responsible for that.
I've seen him in my recommended load.
Oh, he was like, do you know better than me? You might be better for this one.
But,
Dax Flame.
yeah. So he was back in the day. He was like, I would say, like in 2008, 2009. He was making like random YouTube videos. He's the meme of like, I dressed up as Superman at school, and then the next day he like crashes out because it wasn't like a mufti day or whatever you'd call it.
Yeah.
Like, and then he was kind of. He did some acting roles because he was kind of like
he was in like 21 or 22 Jump Street.
Yeah.
He met Bo Burnham.
I know. I've seen the
him
clip
and-
of Bo Burnham going, "I love you, Dax Flame."
Yeah.
And then he kind of went traveling for a few years, didn't pick up any acting roles, had stopped creating online, and kind of came back and was working in an ice cream shop. And
that was it.
made a documentary about him being like someone that used to have this like crazy internet fame, became an actor, and then just stopped doing stuff. And when that came out, I started supporting him on Patreon, and I removed my Patreon pledge recently because I was like, I don't think he needs it anymore.
Well,
We've got somewhere else you can spend it, James.
For God's sake. Yeah, no, it's only $7.
$7.
Yeah, it's
That's
only
nice.
$7.
Good work,
I'm
good
actually, I think you've done a great job at the marketing of it.
Thank you.
Very.
Thanks,
sorry,
Jack.
I
I got
was-
employee of the month.
No, he's employee.
I
of
want
the month.
employee of the month.
But anyway, Ayyildiz
Get
follows.
promotion.
No,
Sorry.
that's employee. That's
All
not
right.
a promotion.
But anyway, Ayyildiz follows me on Twitter. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, I don't think he knew who I was before the other week. So I was like, this is interesting. He waits a couple days, and then I receive a message from Ayyildiz. And in the back of my mind, I was like, okay, there's a reason he's following me. It's probably there's a creator clash coming up, and he's just kind of fielding out and seeing
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
if anyone's interested. And so I receive a message from him. Yeah, it's about boxing. And this message reads, I'll get it up because I think it's a good message.
I know the message. I took
don't.
a photo of
intrigued.
it because it was.
I remember when I got my message, so this is fun.
It was I've got to scroll through because we ended up having a conversation about other things after. Hey, James, do you have any interest in boxing another creator? Not sure your size, but I was looking for someone to fight Tubbo. And right, so I immediately go back and I'm like, okay, well, hold on. I'm 6 foot, almost 6'4".
Yeah.
I'm over 90 kilograms. This isn't probably the best matchup. So we're in a few minutes. I message back.
Tubbo was like famously like 5'8",
Famously.
maybe 9.
Well, this is the thing. So I message back and I go, sorry, mate, probably not a great matchup. Like, I'm a bit taller, probably a bit heavier. But in the back of my mind, there's no way that Ayyildiz is just like cold calling random YouTubers. Surely Tubbo's made a list. He can't just be going out to every YouTuber in the world. So now, I haven't spoken to Tubbo about this, but I wonder if Tubbo was like, fuck it, yeah, James Marriott, I reckon I've got him. And I've rejected the fight. Which means, technically, I backed out in a fight against Tubbo. So Tubbo is 1-0 against me.
On a mental level.
On a
Didn't even
mental-
make it to the ring.
I genuinely don't think, if I see him again and he stares me down, I reckon I will avoid eye contact. Like, that's the level of like...
I want to read Tubbo's list who he reckons he can take, starting with James.
I was writing, I was like, yeah, I am taller than him and heavier than him, but clearly there's a part of him that wants this. And I was like, how far could I have gone in this? Could I have gone, yeah, mate, reckon I've got him? And then, like, it's at the weigh-in that they just noticed that I'm like,
No, but would you? This is the thing, though. You're not. Tubbo would beat up you. You're not going to punch Tubbo.
Oh, I don't know. If I had to.
If he started punching you,
What would be the stakes?
The stakes.
Like, what would it take?
Usually
to punch
medium
Tubbo?
rare.
Oh, I feel like I'm in a...
Usually medium.
God, I feel like I'm in like a Sub to Will video.
No. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no. I need to
Are
switch
those
off.
done now?
What, forever?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, no, he's just in America for a few weeks.
Oh.
Right. So anyone that doesn't know,
Never mind.
this not only is he a comedian. This is our friend James Marriott. He is a YouTuber and primarily a musician now.
Oh, wow.
Musician, yeah. I should have opened with musician, but comedian came first.
Yeah, no. Well,
Given
yeah.
the jokes you just
Given
made.
the jokes.
I remember there was actually like I went to go and see something at the Hammersmith Apollo.
Ooh.
I think 4 years ago. I mean, I've seen you at the Hammersmith Apollo as well, Tom.
Yeah,
which
we
is
did
right,
go.
which is fantastic.
And me. Don't know.
Oh, no, of course you were there.
was part of the
He was
show.
on the billing.
And Freddie was there as well.
Yeah, Freddie.
And there was
That
there
was-
anyone else?
That's
there?
it. Oh, and Joe.
Joe, yeah.
Joe.
But Tommy
Yes.
on the billing. Tommy. Anyway, let's keep.
Yeah,
It's
anyway.
about you. It's
And
about you,
I took a
James.
picture of the stage. I think it was in like 2019. I was like, in 3 years, I'm going to be on that stage. And I thought I'd be a stand-up. And then, yeah, went a completely different route. So
Has it been a stand-up?
I think for a part, when I didn't realise what went into it.
Remember when we did the roast of TommyInnit?
That's pretty
His
good.
jokes were very good.
Very
You were very good, actually. You
I
came
get-
out with a very well-written, well-flowing little
So
set.
really,
It
you
was
took a
quite
photo of the
impressive.
Hammersmith Apollo and said, in 3 years I'll be up there. And actually in 3 years, I was up there.
It was huge, yeah. Well, the funny thing about that first video that I was in of yours
Was that the first video?
yeah, because you only invited me up to do that because you'd moved to Brighton at that point, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
And you were like,
Just,
"Oh,
yeah.
I've got a recording where we're doing the roasting. Do you want to be in the audience?" And I was like, "Fine, yeah, I'll be in the audience." And when we were on the train up, you were like, "If you want, you can like write a few jokes or something."
Fuck, you wrote it on the way there. I remember I was
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah. So I wrote it on the train.
You did it was way better than anyone else who went
Yeah,
up.
very
I'm going to
good.
be honest.
No, there was a few solid ones, but I remember quite a few of mine got cut.
They were, some of them were like mad.
Yeah, but
They
then,
probably could air now.
oh, weirdly, probably, yeah.
They
But-
probably could air now. But back
Don't
then,
be adding that to a fucking Patreon without even realizing. But it was like, at the time, it was like, the way that I used to do YouTube stuff was like, sometimes you do say the things which you know are going to get cut because they will
They'll
just
rile up the
loosen
room.
up the room
Yeah,
a bit
yeah.
more and
Yeah.
be like, yeah, everyone's fine to make whatever jokes they want.
We
So-
still do that. And like, not for the Patreon, not for the podcast even. God, now
in
I'm just calling it the Patreon.
recordings, yeah,
But in
yeah.
recordings, we've started doing that for like Minecraft stuff.
We
this
lose
first
stuff
episode
up.
doesn't matter. It's the second one that matters.
Yeah.
No, I don't even mean it, but like, it's gotten to
Just
the point
a
where
vessel
I did
to the-
so much heavy marketing on the Patreon. I've like muddled the word and I call the whole podcast Patreon in my brain
Do you reckon it's
Quite
one of your
bad.
most used words these days? Patreon.
by accident, maybe. Yeah. But you know, $7.
James,
Good
James,
stuff,
I've
good
actually I've prepared some questions as well, introspective ones,
stuff.
thoughtful.
Don't say I've prepared like I didn't
Fuck
also
off, mate.
prepare.
These are the ones I came up with.
I'm so
Yours are
excited.
first, yes, but mine.
yeah, okay,
I
but
have.
I'm opening, aren't I? I'm opening, and then
All
I'll
right,
say
fine,
Jack's.
You open.
And in a way, we're all going to be opening because we're going to be opening up and
Opening up.
Okay,
sharing
nice.
some secrets.
That was nice. We're
Yeah.
looking for a new host.
Oh, really?
Fuck off. No, he just keeps arguing with me today.
No, because
Recently, actually, past 3 weeks, just been
whatever,
arguing.
whatever, Jack, whatever.
Arguing, man.
Do you guys need some couple therapy?
It seems like it.
Oh my god, we should have a couples therapist on.
That actually would be really funny.
Let's get focused, James. So I was saying, you've been doing music now for a good couple of years. Because you gig. How many tours have you done now?
Oh fuck! I think we've done I think we're on our 60th show. That might be wrong.
How many tours?
60 to 70 shows. Fuck. We've done Australia and New Zealand. Well, we've done Australia and New Zealand on one of them twice. We've done one support tour, 3 kind of headline tours in the UK.
So, I've been doing comedy, as you know, for fucking a year. And there's a real sense when you're doing it, as a comedian, oh, that was a really good gig. That fucking sucked. As a musician, what's the difference between a good gig and a bad one?
It's, I think, because we've spoken about it before, because I think when there's been times where you go into play festivals and you're playing in front of a lot less people. I think the real way you can define it is within the energy and connection you feel with a crowd. Like if you go in and everyone in the crowd is proper up for it, you just come away from it, no matter if your performance is bad, and you're like, that was just really fun.
Yeah.
But then there was one time where we played a festival in Australia called Yours and Ours. Great festival. Met Peach Pit there. They were so cool. Their set was amazing. The location, amazing. Everything about the festival, great. But it was an 18+ festival in a part of Australia where I'd never been before. And you could probably count on 2 hands the amount of people that were in front of us. And there was obviously a few core people wearing shirts and stuff, and they were giving it a lot. But then there was just this vacant field behind them. And you could literally at one point in the gig see this man pulling a wheelie bin across the field. And the sun was in our eyes, so we had to wear sunglasses. I couldn't see the screen on my pedal. And I went off stage and I was like, that was almost funny. How ridiculous that was.
That's good.
And the photo they took of it made it look as good as you possibly can, but it was a bit of a tough one.
When you're on stage performing, do you ever how there are you? Because sometimes when we were doing the show that was scripted, at least I'd sometimes go on autopilot, and then especially more so with stand-up, you just so because with music, when you know all the songs, what's it like?
Well, the thing is you kind of you start to learn moments of the set and use those as your moments to really kind of feel a connection with the crowd. So in Romanticize This, there's a line which is, "This is the last time," in the C part. And whenever I sing that line, I look out and I imagine it and soak it in as if it's the last time I'm going to be doing it. For whatever reason, I could walk down the road tomorrow and get run over by a car, and that be a thing. This could have been the last time that I ever played a show, or for whatever reason, right? So, and that's a real moment I have to kind of really take a step back and go, this is great. And then it has a really fun part of the song after that, so I can really feel that moment.
Yeah.
But you do kind of especially when you're doing a longer tour, there are moments where the days
you start
kind
to
of
switch off. I imagine with stand-up, this is sort of now I'm it's sort of no, but
I didn't even see it. I looked away for 1 second. I looked back and
they're giving you the V's. No, go on.
But I imagine it's because a lot of it is crowd work and sort of playing off the a lot of the humor comes from playing off the energy of the room in the correct way. I imagine you it almost is a requirement to be present.
Yeah,
in a way where when we're doing our tour and it's scripted between us. Every interaction's sort of laid out, and it's same with sort of music. It's very laid out, and it's very difficult after months of doing the same thing to I'm really
keep
glad
it fresh every
those
night. Yeah,
moments.
Because stand up for me is the most in the moment.
Because I had
my whole life, and it's
in your show I had one bit. That improv-y bit we did.
Yeah,
that was the one bit each night where I'd really get a sense of the room, because
that's what it feels like every night in stand up.
Yeah, and it's fun. I do get that.
So did you find that when you guys were doing the show together, that there would be some jokes that would kind of define the night? If you reached a joke and you got a good laugh from something, that you kind of felt like the show would become, would be a good one or a bad one?
Yeah,
that's very true.
We sort of had moments where we were oh, they like this every time, or they didn't like that. We had occasionally little jokes that wouldn't usually get a laugh would get a laugh.
Yeah.
So that had some weird night. We usually had, because in the first show there was 3 characters. You had Ian, Binder, and me. For us, it was they always seemed to have one that they had the most sympathy for. And it was always quite unexpected. Sometimes it was really clearly me. Sometimes it was Binder. Sometimes it was Jack's character. And it was always, that was the most exciting thing for us. Who are they going to pick with?
Who's going to be the favourite tonight?
Yeah, because with stand-up, you totally know based on a few jokes. But it's actually different with stand-up. You were jokes are I don't know if it's the same in music, but like you can have 2 jokes that kill, and then your third joke, and they're just like they don't like it. But last night they loved it, and that's where it's like, oh my god.
I'd say with stand up, you probably have this more jaggedy lines of things that
really
works. With music, it kind of feels more like a slope.
Is it? Do you know if they're not into it from like a couple?
You can win people over with one song, and then the rest of the gig be amazing. But
Okay,
that can happen halfway
interesting.
through a set.
Okay.
Like we can be having a pretty poor start to a set, like my performance in the first song not be the best. Like we play him, and the crowd aren't jumping, but then going postal at the party, we'll start playing that. And there's a bit in that song where I make everyone go to the ground and jump up. And sometimes if you really get people to do that, you then have them for the next half an hour.
Yeah.
And then we'll go off stage and we'll talk about it and be like, yeah, tough. They had us in the first half, but then like when we got them jumping, it's great.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What would be your like? You might have answered worst gig, but best gig.
Best gig? That's so tough. I think like, I don't know about you guys, but I find that certain cities just put in like their crowds are
They
always
are
fantastic.
ridiculous.
What would
A
they
couple of
be?
them.
Yeah.
Melbourne. Like,
Really, that's why I'm doing 2 dates.
we've not done that one.
There's something about Melbourne. We
That's amazing.
played the first show there, and it was just like it was one of my favorites. And then going
That's our
back,
last show. That's our last show.
oh, you'll love
You say
Melbourne.
out. I'm not doing that one, am I? Or am I?
Well, that's too.
Yeah, I don't think- you said hour. I don't think I'm doing this one.
There's cameras.
Yeah. But and then we did it again recently, and I almost went into the tour knowing it would be a good show. Like I was like, this one, we'll see how that goes. But I was like, oh, and then we played Melbourne. I was just like, in the back of my mind, I always knew it was going to be great.
That feels like Glasgow. Glasgow is always a great.
Yeah, Glasgow's
Yeah.
great.
Great
Do they do the "Here We Go" thing with you guys? It might just be a gig culture thing, but people in Glaswegian crowds chant "Here we fucking go" before you come on stage.
They didn't do that for Tommy.
I don't think they know. No, I don't remember.
Well,
that.
now, next time you go to Tommy's show in Glasgow,
That's the first one of this next tour. Let's go.
well, there you go.
Now and now.
What
Yeah.
way to kick it off?
Yeah.
What was? Yeah.
I'd say those were up there, and then I'd say festival wise playing Leeds, Reading and Leeds, but this last time we played in the Big Top 10, I think it's called.
Oh,
Anyway, and it was like
Such
just-
a lot of people.
yeah, and that was fucking great. Like it was one of the first times where I've been able to go off stage, and they have those in festivals they have those pathways where you can go into the middle of the crowd,
Yeah.
and I was doing
Yeah.
grapes, and I like ran off stage. And luckily, I've been doing a bit of cardio, but I was pumped out of breath for the entire
Yeah.
fucking performance. I like sprinted back, went back through the crowd, and was in the middle performing grapes. And it was just
Oh,
like
that's wicked.
I came
That's
off
fun.
stage, and I was like, I am a rock star. Like, that's how I felt. And then I looked back at the videos and went, I am not a rock star. Yeah, I'd say those.
And
are
what's
up
your
there. It's
favorite moment in the performance when you're on stage? Is it the singing or a certain bit in a song or like joking in between songs? Like, what would you say? It sounds like you might have answered this already with you.
I'd say grapes is always a great one to play live because you kind of feel like year upon year it's becoming more solidified, not just in my own culture but at festivals. It's
Yeah.
almost like whenever I do another festival, it's like there seems to just be a different level of energy for grapes. So I'd say that, but also I love Don't Blame Me. I think that's the song that means the most to me, at least in the stuff we've already played. And that moment live, I think there's a clip of me playing it at a little pop-up gig we did in Leeds, and I was just really feeling it that night. And sometimes that's what I need. If I'm having a bad day and I go out and I perform that song and I really feel it, that's great.
It
So-
can change your day, can't it?
yeah. And you just get that catharsis from it, which weirdly enough I got from writing it. And then now I can kind of revisit that catharsis whenever I perform it. So I'd say that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's my turn now. I didn't know how to transition out. I was like, it's my turn.
I think,
I've got a question.
I think you had it.
You could have hit
you
me
could've
like,
just
shut
asked the
up,
question.
I'm talking.
Yeah, you
I
could've
reckon
just
that
asked
would've
the-
worked.
No. I wanted to say it was my
It's
turn.
my turn now.
It's my turn now.
It's my turn.
That's not as
I
good of
love
it
that. It's a very like us three thing to do in a
It's my
conversation.
turn now.
My turn.
It is my turn now.
I was very curious about, obviously, I would say now, it seems to me at least, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the majority of your time is taken up more with music than it is social media, online stuff. How is that? Like, what's your day? What's the industry like as a day-to-day sort of thing? Like, how's your day-to-day different?
And compared to YouTube.
I'd say it's
comparatively,
like, it's weird because I'll still make YouTube videos, but it kind of feels like with YouTube now I can kind of post it and like forget about it. Like my last video was, I'm pretty sure, a 10 of 10 for the first day. And you know how like 3-4 years ago, if I had a 10 of 10, I'd be like head in hands,
just
working
miserable
out what
about
I was doing. I just put it out and I kind of forgot about it, and then went on TikTok and started promoting my song on TikTok again. It's like
Yeah.
it's very different, right? So when you're writing and producing and getting everything ready, it is a pretty draining experience because it's amazing to write music.
Because a long album rollout. That's what you told me. I
Oh
was
my god,
shocked
yeah.
about.
I mean, we were in the studio for this album.
You got to tell Jack about that because that.
Yeah, so we started writing the new album at the beginning. Well, not even that. At the end of 2023. So we were already writing it then when the first album came out. Continued writing in early 2024. March was a huge month for writing. Just had a lot to write about, and then in July we went to the studio and spent the following 2 months just going back and forth with my producer, changing little bits. Then it was sent to mix, then it was sent to master. Then all of a sudden it's November and we're discussing how we're going to put this stuff out. And it's only in January that we put out the first song. So it's like, that's a year and a half of
the
my
tempo
life.
of that compared to YouTube is like
Yeah.
Yeah, for like
crazy.
one project. I
Exactly.
realize there's lots of songs involved in that, but like one
cohesive thing.
Yeah,
And so it's like, so now it's weird because obviously, like, we just released the first single, and the first week of that release, I would just spend absolutely hammering it everywhere in a way that you don't do with YouTube. But you've got to, if you spend a year and a half of your life on something,
you would.
and you're not promoting in any possible way you can, I don't think you're doing it right. Like, I think like it would be like if you were working on a comedy special that you were uploading somewhere, right? And you would go through it and you'd obviously make the clips of it. You would post that on short form. You'd find ways to, like, if people were using a sound in the sense of like one of your jokes and using it as a TikTok trend, you'd use that and you kind of, and it's like, you have to really be ready to completely bear everything and just like know that it's going to be a little bit embarrassing to talk about it all over and over and over again. But yeah, we're definitely in that stage now, and it's like pretty draining, but it's good to see a positive response to it.
Yeah, it
still.
seems to be doing really fucking well.
Yeah, it's good. It's doing the best that I've ever had, which is again when you spend a year and a half on something, it's like
that's a nice feeling.
thank God. But even if it had done the same, that's fine as well. You
But I
know?
also imagine, it becomes a lot easier to sort of not stress about something you spent like maybe a week working on.
Yeah.
When you've got something you've been working on for a year and a half.
Yeah, and it's like, a YouTube video might not do it as well as another one every now and then, but then you know, I can just go and make a video with Will and E and it'll do well. So I could just be like, hey, come down, we'll try some Dutch snacks, and it'll be
So,
yeah.
Thank you, Will and E. Thank you, Jay Schlatt.
Yeah, they're reacting to bedrooms, just like
reacting to anything with Jay Schlatt.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Thank you, Jay Schlatt.
we all have our crutches. I wasn't looking at you in any way about that.
No, you don't really. Oh no, yeah, there is one. Just sort of being sad and miserable about things recently, really, isn't it?
No, but I've seen YouTubers that you don't know talk about your, I don't want to say sad content.
it's called the Square videos.
Yeah, but people talk about, like, other creators talk about
It
those
means a
videos.
lot to a lot of people. I'm taking the piss. They are great.
Because I'm not really on the internet now, so I'm just like
there's a video that Gabby Bell made recently, and she directly references your video in it.
I then watched her video and I was like, awesome.
Yeah, it's so cool. Like, I think it's a really good way to approach YouTube. I think.
Square. Thanks, guys.
Square.
Well, James, speaking of your evolution, and then
My turn.
speaking of my evolution,
Yes.
just then, here's my question for you.
His turn.
Yeah, his
What's
turn.
it been?
Sorry.
Anytime.
Maybe we should change the aspect ratio to square.
Let me just remind you something. That I'm the host, guys.
No.
But you're
no.
both hosts.
We're both hosts.
Yeah, but I'm in the host role.
Tom has this weird
Does that
thing.
make me a parasite?
What?
If you're the host.
Okay, that was quite the no.
Okay.
You're our special guest.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. Special.
Here's my question: what's it been like, James, seeing? Sorry, in case Jack thought it was him.
Oh, Christ alive, man. Just get on with the question.
What's it been like seeing us two evolve, me and Jack, in work and life? Because you've known me
Oh,
since I was
yeah.
fucking. You were the first podcast I ever went on when I was 16.
Oh my God,
The
I
first one.
completely forgot about that.
Yeah, when I was 16, you've known Jack since. You've known
For a
both
long
of us
time.
for so long.
Yeah.
You also were there. You knew about me from when I had like 100K on YouTube. You've been there from the and especially when I moved down in 2022.
Well, this
me
is
and
what I
you
was
were
going to say. I was actually going to talk about when you
really,
right.
really.
I'm gonna take it in turns.
Okay.
That's all right.
Jack,
Oh, thank
I
you.
remember funnily enough, I remember when you started doing well and you changed from Thunder 1408.
Yes.
To Jack
done.
Manifold.
No one ever remembers the numbers.
And I have a really weird thing with numbers. I just remember numbers. Like, numbers just come to me very easily.
That's good.
Anyway, 3. Like that's
No, but think about it, because he thinks he said a random number. That's how many people are in the room.
oh my god.
Hold on. He doesn't know.
Apart from
The viewers don't know about you lot. Fuck off.
Oh.
All the people behind camera got really upset.
But I remember thinking, like, I remember there was a message that I was sent you where I was like, oh my god, I'm no longer the most relevant Jah-ma. Because obviously Jah.
oh yeah, there was such a demand for jam, man. That jam really.
I pulled up the jammer. Yeah.
Yeah, we're proper.
To be fair, no, I think we're both lost to Maya jammer. So
oh fuck, you're right.
yeah, we both.
Oh.
We never had it to begin with.
Who's Maya
Oh.
Jammer?
Scott doesn't even know Maya jammer.
Well, that's crazy. But well, in his mind.
Maybe we do have
We're
the
still-
jammer.
we're
You two
still
are the
up.
biggest jammers.
But
right now.
I remember when you were, I remember speaking to you about, because you were doing, was it IT work alongside
I was working tech support.
tech support, that was it. And I remember saying to you, I think you're in a good enough position to go clear with YouTube
It's the
stuff.
main reason I did it.
Yeah, which is
be
mental
honest.
to think. But
Yeah.
I at that point, I'd kind of been around, I feel like, for long enough to know what the signs were for someone that would do well and someone that wouldn't.
Yes.
So I felt
You
confident.
assured me of that. It
Even
was
though
very
I,
nice.
I went to uni, I was like, you're fine.
Because when I was 14, I watched your videos.
That's weird. And
Now
yeah,
I'm 20.
You unsubscribed.
Yeah, but you were a bit cold compared to Will.
I
You,
was.
you did go quite hard.
Yeah, I was a little cold.
But now think about how warm you are.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's a bit.
No, in a nice way.
But then obviously with you came on the E-Boys podcast, I remember. But I knew you and I'd watched your stuff by this point, but we hadn't really spoken.
No.
It was more so when I moved down to Brighton and then you moved down to
That
Brighton.
was so intense on that podcast.
No, you weren't. I remember actually finishing that podcast and going, yeah, he seems like pretty level-headed actually for for
Mad.
everything that was going on. Obviously, you're always going to reflect on the way that you were as a kid and be like, oh, I was
Because
so
my
hot-headed
first
in
trickle
this video.
sandwich, everyone had like funny episodes. And I was like really serious, and I rewatched it like, ugh.
No, I think like it was important for you to have that side of you because then
Yeah.
Yeah.
that showed you a multifaceted.
It was nowhere else, was it? Like everyone
That's
saw you was
true,
like,
yeah.
kids,
Yeah.
you know, like that was you. I think it was good for you to have
Yeah,
these more
yeah,
serious
sure.
moments.
And then I remember moving down to Brighton, and I didn't really deep it at the time, but now I kind of, as I've kind of grown up a bit more, and the people I hang out with the most are, people in my band or like friends I have in London from when I was at uni or school. I just realized like you were so young when you moved to Brighton. You
I
were
was
17.
Yeah.
And I remember telling you when you moved down to Brighton, I was like, definitely down to like go for a coffee together in the lanes, let's hang out. But I knew, and I think I said it to you, I was like, you're gonna, because it was before you'd moved as well, I think.
No,
No, I
you
moved
moved,
first.
but you.
You moved first.
But
Yeah, I
Jack,
moved
the
first.
difference. I remember when I moved down. The big difference was
I moved before you.
everyone who was
Really?
Yeah, I was there for a while.
Damn.
like, I wasn't 18, so everyone would go out drinking after 10.
Yeah.
So you were like my person who would hang out with in the day.
Yeah, because I kind of felt like with you, it was, I knew at one point that you would meet people that were 17/18, and at that point it would very much be a time for me to like fully take a step back and let you just do that and have
Yeah.
that part of your life.
But you were a real rock for me when I first moved down.
Well, yeah,
So we
well,
hung
it was
out all the time.
important because it was like here, because all right, bit of context. When I lived in Spain for half a year and I moved in with this 18-year-old guy called Alberto.
How
and
old were you?
I was 21. But in Spain, family is so important. And so he was essentially doing uni for the first time, left his family, went to a completely different city. He's from Valencia, went to a completely different city and just didn't have his family anymore. So he kind of, in a way, I felt a bit like he latched onto me and kind of had like, we spent so much time together. There'll be times where we'd have like a sleepover in the living room because he kind of
Yeah.
needed to feel a bit closer to someone in that way. So I'd be sleeping on the sofa, he'd bring in his fucking mattress and sleep on the floor. And it kind of reminded me of that.
We didn't get quite to that point.
No, but it
No, that's true.
it kind of reminded me of that because I was like,
Yeah.
you're 17, you're moving out for the first time, you're in this new city, you do need a bit of like a presence there. And then we were sat at a cafe and you went up to a group of people that were your age and you complimented someone someone was wearing. You came back, sat down with me, and you were like, oh, I reckon I'm gonna like ask them what they're up to and go and hang out with them. And I remember thinking like, go and do it. That'd be sick. And then you did it as they were walking off and you walked off with them and like turned back to me and waved at me. And I was like, there he goes. And I remember that I think we still hung out after that, like every now
Yeah,
and then.
yeah.
But that was definitely the moment where I was like,
That's mad. It was as well.
yeah, because I was like, that's great now. He has that. I can go back to my room and make some music.
Oh, that's mad.
sweet, man. That's really
That is
kind.
sweet.
But I remember that. I remember which direction you walked off in. I remember that I had a bag. I think I went to Waterstones and I had a book from Waterstones. It's a very clear memory in my mind.
Wow.
It's weird
That's
because
really
I wish
sweet.
the conversation we had was over Discord. So it's like,
It was like over like Instagram
Yeah.
DMs
You and
when I
Jack
was
went
still
out
living in Manchester in
drinking.
COVID. But it was still very, no. It means a lot to me because it is fully like one of the main. It was you and Schlatt had both sent me. Schlatt did it in his Schlatt way. I think his exact wording was, "You're sat on a gold mine," and I went, which I must admit, did encourage. When Schlatt says you're sat on a gold mine, you do think about it.
I think
Sat on a gold
Schlatt is
mine.
very secretly a sentimental person.
He is, but he worded it in his way.
You know,
He really is.
online, he'd never spoken to me about this before, but Schlatt and I have known each other for 7 years.
Yeah,
Which is
I heard about
a weird
this.
thing. So in 2018, we were added to a group chat together, and it was like seen as this like upcoming next big YouTubers group chat. And to be fair, the amount of YouTubers that were in that group chat that are now full-time YouTubers is mental.
Oh, okay. Who
they-
made it? Who was like
There's
the
a guy called
savant?
The Right Opinion. He does
Oh,
like
I know
video,
The Right- I know of The
video
Right
essay
Opinion,
content.
sorry.
But he was in that, and I remember I went to New York and saw Schlatt, and I think that was the only time I've ever met him, and he brought it up, and I was like, I knew that there was a part of him that knew that from back in the day.
When I
Didn't
did
forget.
my A Tribute to Dream SMP video, I think Schlatt did like 7 passes on the script. Just with
Really?
notes. Like he's a sentimental guy.
But
He is
cares-
really.
He's
I mean, he
great.
cares so much about that kind of content.
Yeah,
as
he's
well.
great.
Yeah, I
But
do
no,
like-
it was you and him that both gave me the advice, and that basically almost made my mind up. I remember saying it to my parents, and then being like, maybe just stick it out for a bit longer, and then like a week later, them even changing their minds, and being like,
Nah, you got to understand when you have like a real chance to do something like this.
yeah,
It's not. I don't think it's as much as that was like not lightning in a bottle, but a great opportunity for both of you. It was like you could keep doing stuff, and even if that one hadn't worked, 2 years down the line, something would have happened
Yeah.
that would have worked. And I think that was in my mind, I was like, I don't feel bad giving that advice because I knew if not this, the next thing would
Sure.
happen.
I appreciate
So,
that. It was
yeah.
again, I wouldn't be here now. So
Ah,
look at him.
It's your question.
Oh, was it my question? Sorry, I
my turn.
wasn't waiting for you
We
to
need a
move
better
out.
way.
I was actually
You
just
know when
about
it's with you, we can do it. When it's like Dan and Phil, like
How was that? By the way, mental. You know,
they were great.
I
they were
grew up
great. But I didn't like grow up. What did you?
No,
we didn't really have that same
Oh,
like.
wow.
Everyone
I
that I
really
spoke to has been
appreciated,
like,
I knew of their legacy.
Yeah.
And as I'd researched them for the episode, I was like,
Me
these
too,
guys are
as I
fucking
researched them.
Dude,
inspiring.
My
but
sister showed me Dan's content when I was growing up, and that was
That's
like one of
mad.
my biggest inspirations behind.
oh yeah,
making
your
YouTube
first ever
videos.
video is actually really similar. Actually,
Absolutely.
have you ever seen James's first ever videos?
Oh,
Very
it's
Dan
bad.
and Phil-esque.
Yeah, it's very bad. All my old videos are terrible. But they're like very like it was Dan and Phil and KSI. I was like somewhere that
Yeah.
I loved the way that they made videos and they
really
edited.
weird.
Yeah, but I was into everything. YouTube
The
was
way
great.
they went off is like really.
Yeah, but this is the thing. In like 2010 to like 2013, there weren't many YouTubers still.
So there
Yeah.
weren't like these like sectors of it. It was
No.
YouTubers were
no,
YouTubers.
because you having 100K was like, yeah, it was like you and Will N.E. and
No, there was like I remember hitting 1 million and that still being something which was like really difficult.
unheard of.
And like even now it's still very difficult, but you do get some creators that just like will make shorts and
it's easier to come. I mean, it's the
Yeah.
reason they made the play button smaller.
yeah.
I'm not trying to be funny, but like they literally
made the play buttons.
were like, shit, we're sending out too many of these. We can't afford to send them at that size. Like, I mean, like they
Yeah.
are going out more frequently.
yeah.
It's just a fact.
But yeah, Dan and Phil. I remember I saw that episode happen and I just kind of like leant back in my chair and was like, that is so fucking cool.
I don't know about you. I got a lot of messages from like people.
I got a lot of people in person be like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah, I was one of them. Like
Yeah.
I came up to you, we bumped into each other somewhere. I can't remember where
In
it
the
was.
gym, mate.
The gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the gym.
The place to talk about Dan and Phil.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I fucking love Dan and Phil, mate. I grew up on Danny's Not on Fire. Yeah, amazing.
Phil.
Amazing Phil.
Fucking get in.
Look at us.
It's your go.
That was sick. Yeah, I'll read mine then. Oh, that was it. We were talking about ourselves, we're being self-indulgent. We wanted to know what were me and Tom's strengths, and if you were each of us, what would you do?
what would you
Oh,
look out
God.
for
You
in
gave
work?
us such good advice back in the day that we figured we'd want some
No, but
now.
you also put as well, what would you
sorry.
look out for in work and in
No,
life?
you added that.
Yeah,
you,
but no,
you actually adulterated my question.
Yeah,
and
no,
added
but
that.
you have
no,
been-
it's Jack's
you've
turn.
been integral.
It's Jack's turn.
Oh.
Shut up! I'm talking. I've asked James a question.
Oh, very good. Okay, so I'll take it in terms.
Oh, very good.
I think you need. Sorry, was that really sarcastic?
Very good. It was great.
You need to be more confident in the things that you like to make, because when you put out something that you've clearly enjoyed the process of making from start to finish, one, it always does well, which is like the burger video.
Oh yeah.
Did fantastically, but was also very you. And then you mentioned that you did, and I saw the supermarket video you did recently. I think you need to lean into that kind of stuff and get a bit more wild with it, because I think your audience enjoy it and you clearly enjoy making it. And I think that's the thing when your audience are vibing with whatever you make, as long as it is clear that you wanted to make it, you're in a fucking great position. And
wait, I'm sitting up for my one.
I've said this to you.
That's good advice.
I think your audience interaction is amazing. I've seen you perform now twice. I'm coming again on Thursday, I believe.
Yeah, I'm doing it tonight as well. My first crowd.
Oh, you're going to see me?
To not my own
Wait,
audience.
actually, it would have already happened by the time this goes out, so everyone will know the fact that I'm doing a little.
Are you
He's not
actually
doing stand-up, but he's doing like a.
It's kind of stand-up. It's somewhere in the
that
middle.
joke where he asks people what their impressions are, and then
remember, actually, you were in the video. Remember the weird impressions bit I did at the end of that?
Yes,
I'm doing that again.
That's good. That's good.
Hello.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun.
And I would say I saw a clip of your crowd work with that guy that says he owns a record label in Brighton, and I remember showing that to my friends, because I was like, okay, hold on. I've seen you perform and I've seen you write jokes, and I see you kind of like getting it together and gathering the pieces. But then I almost saw with the crowd work, I watched it and I forgot it was you. And I like that was the thing which people have said before to me, where I've had old friends come to shows and go like,
I forget it's you when you're on stage.
Yeah,
but like we're mates.
And in a weird way, the more you can kind of leave the self and become a bit of like a myth of yourself, where to the point where people will watch it and just go, that's hilarious. Oh wait, it's also Tom. I think that you need to lean into anything which makes people feel that way. And I won't be alone in feeling that crowd work was something which...
Very right. I really did. I thought that your crowd work at the start of the thing was very, very good.
And I think you should lean into that. That's what I'd say.
I think it was probably your best bit, but maybe also that bit where you played Bruce Springsteen for 8 minutes could also be up there.
That was the best bit.
They're interchangeably great. You know?
That was great.
It was
it'll never happen again.
But you come from such a unique perspective with stand-up, because you have...
Do you think I'm doing the right thing doing stand-up and binning off YouTube?
Yes. But which do you enjoy the most?
Stand-up.
Then yes.
Thanks, James.
That's the...
I like how simple you see it. I think that's
you're
really
just
cool,
like
though.
affirming us, man. This is nice.
Yeah, no, this is the alphabet. Maybe I'm the couples therapist.
Maybe. No,
This is certainly helping.
I like how simple that was. Just like, do you enjoy it more? Yes, good.
Yeah, strip it down to its simplest qualities. What I love to do is sit down and write music and play that music live. Therefore, my life should be mainly that. And if I can turn that into something which affords me the ability to do it more, then 100% every single day of the week. But yeah, I would say I think that was the first real time that I saw it and was like, I would struggle to put you know, like it kind of felt like I was just watching a comedian I would watch. You know what I mean? And that was like a really cool thing to see, which shows that with time as well, you're just going to get better and better at that. But you have the years of experience of Twitch chat. And I think that is probably why
That's what we've been saying.
You
and then
can
the
do the
podcast
crowd
as well
work better.
gives me a sharp.
No, but crowd work is like you're given with Jack. You kind of know what the stimuli will be. If he has a story, you still know where he's.
Than you'd imagine.
As a friend, you know the way he's going to say something.
Yeah. But like it is like I've done Twitch streaming. I've done that for 8 years.
Long time.
I did Twitch streaming for 7 years. I started in 2017 Twitch streaming.
And that's just crowd interaction. Really?
Yeah, it really is.
Plus Minecraft.
Yeah, it was weird when I did the crowd interaction, and because I've never done it, and then I just did it, and then everyone was like, "Oh, you can." I was like, "Oh, I can do that," and I was like,
"Yeah, it was very
nice.
natural." It was the most natural
Slap would say.
Next
sat on a gold mine, kid.
It's on a gold mine, kid.
It's on a gold mine. You're gonna have a clip that goes viral in like the next year where you get heckled and you have a really good retort. I just know it. I watched that clip and I was like, he's gonna get heckled and he's gonna own the heckler and he's gonna have a TommyInnit owns the heckler retort video.
Thanks, James.
TommyInnit owns heckler.
And now people are gonna clip this podcast and then attach it on the end of it.
You. Yeah, I'm doing it tonight for the first time to not my audience.
We're not faking any more clips, by the way. I don't know if you saw last week where we faked a clip, but we've cut that. All our clips now are authentic, like that
real,
one.
What clip was faked?
We did a clip where Tom pretended he had more money than he does.
But you know, because it was that clip of me talking about, no, don't do that face. It was a cool idea, and it was my idea. So
Oh, is this on the Logan Paul podcast? Where...
Yeah, and it went. But we were like, let's do like a sequel to that clip and see if it gets to all that audience. But what we said to our audience was, no matter what, reply saying "OMG, that's mad," and and anyone that goes, "This is fake," reply "No, lol."
So how much did you say you had?
I don't know. Like, no, it was just a joke. It was just a joke.
I said 25 to 30 mil.
Quite a lot more.
He doesn't even know.
Hasn't looked.
He hasn't even looked.
How much is a pint of milk?
Anymore.
Huh?
How much is a pint of milk?
No, don't even go there, man. I'm not even allowed milk.
Oh, yeah. No, he's recently found out he's lactose intolerant.
Finally, I've been trying to get you on oat milk for fucking
And all it took was
years.
me shitting myself for 7 months.
Apparently he's been sat on the podcast in shitty pants because he keeps
Do you know
shitting
what the worst
himself.
one was, James? You're like this because you go to the same gym as me. When I knew I had to make a change was when I'd stand up after being on the gym equipment.
Oh, no.
I'd be like,
And there was shit on the gym.
I'd be like, that can't just be sweat.
I was on the crunch machine the other day. Well, it's not a machine. It's like
Tell the story about the guy with the money.
oh well, yeah. Okay. I'll do that after. I'm worried about how far that's going to get. But it's so I was on a crunch machine, but it's like a bench that kind of angles off, so your head's like here, and I was holding a weight and I was crunching up, and I did 12, and I was like, not feeling great today. Feeling like just a bit kind of bloated, not at my best. I did the second round, got to 11, was like, okay, this is definitely not my day. And then on the third set, I got to 8 and just farted. And it was a really full gym. And it was like, I didn't have my headphones on, and like I could look around and there were plenty of people that did not have headphones on because the music in the gym's pretty good. And the fart I let out wasn't like a heavy one, but it was very high pitched to the point where it was just like, you just see this, like I'm 6'3" with a weight doing crunches, and you just hear like a like as I was going up, but like an annoyingly loud.
I did one on the the leg curl that's in the very corner. I did a really stinky one. I went, oh, that's really bad. And then like 3 people came to those lockers, and I watched them all go, oh, then look at me and go, it must have been him. And I was just sat there like, yeah.
You know what I do? If I do one that really smells and I know people are going to have that reaction, I do it first. Like, make it look like it was someone else. I go, oh, fucking hell, who's done that? And it's me.
My favourite thing I used to do in school
All
is
the time.
when we leave the school corridor, there was this really tight corridor that all the students would get into, and I'd always try and fart. And then I'd hear,
What, the choke? You follow the choke point.
and then I'd hear like 10 people go, ah, and I'd also join in, but I'd know it was me.
You guys are you're hitting me with who smelt it, dealt it in 2025. That's crazy.
No, quickly just tell.
Oh, right.
This is the funny. So I was leaving the gym and I saw James talking to someone. I was like, oh, he's got gym buddies, does he? So I was leaving.
Yeah, I can have friends.
But then
I
you
do
were
have
like,
some
no, but you were
friends.
like, you don't. I don't have a gym buddy.
Right, yeah. So I was
This is
oh my God, yeah,
This is
sorry.
crazy.
I was in the gym, and I was on so there's only one of these machines at the gym, and it's a pec fly machine, so it's the one where you do that.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes they have multiple. You can actually do it with cables, which I'm now starting to do because of how awkward moments like this are. So I'm sat at this machine. I've done my first set. I've got 2 more sets to go. And a man who I'd say is like maybe 30 years old, bit of a geezer. He's shaped like a Dorito. Like he's got like massive shoulders, massive arms. His chest is massive, and he just looks like an absolute monster. And he comes up to me and he's like, mate, how many sets you got left? And I was like, oh, sorry, friend. Yeah, I have 2 sets left, but we can take it in turns. He's like, oh yeah, class. And then I'm like, okay, I'll go to do my second set. Oh no, I get off the set and he does his. And as he's sitting down, he's like, right, you got to make sure when you come to the gym, you got to have like 4 liters of water before you come here, right? Because your pump will be massive. And I'm natural as well. He might be natural. He was massive. And he goes like, he sits down, and clearly he's seen my form and taken issue with it, right? Because he sits down, he goes, chest out, chin up, money, 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 and says money with every single repetition. And I'm just kind of like, I'm not on my phone.
That's real.
My phone's on the floor, so like I have no distraction here but to watch his set. He's not looking at me. He's like dead forward. I'm like stood here, like just out, like I'm in his peripheral vision, dead saying money, like straight forwards to the 12 cents. And I was like, okay, well, what's happened here clearly is that he's calling his form money. Like that's on the money, the form.
Yeah.
And he's done that once, and he's done it twice, and he's gone, okay, well, if I've said it twice, I can't stop saying it. So I'm going to say it 12 times. And I was like, okay, cool. whatever. I sit down. He comes off the machine. He goes over to the water. He's like, oh. So he goes over to the water to grab some more water,
Some more water, yeah.
to add on to the 4 liters. And I sit down and I start doing my set. And I'm like, okay, he didn't actually change the weight. And that was a pretty high weight. And I go to do my set and I get to like repetition number 8. I'm fumbling like this. My form is wavy as hell. And I go, ugh, and I get to 8. And I'm like, God. I get up, I'm like, oh, sorry, mate, today's just not my day. You know, it's slightly embarrassing. He sits back down, doesn't say it this time. So he comes over, he sits on the seat, legs like this. Just this thing, because apparently it was off. It wasn't really. I think he just wanted to kind of like play around. So he does the chest out, but he doesn't say it. Does the chin up, doesn't say it. Grabs the fucking things. Money. Money. And again, for the next 12 repetitions, he says it. And I'm just like, stood there, absolutely bemused by this man. Like, what is he? And I go like, he finishes the 12 and he's made me look fucking tiny because he's done the 12 like it's absolutely
Because you ask
nothing.
him, don't you?
Huh?
You ask him.
Well, no, at the end of it, I go, nice one, mate, and go to give him a fist bump. And he goes, yeah, that's money. And just walked off. So, yeah.
Didn't he say, like, you've always got to have money on the mind? Didn't he say?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, he just went, yeah, that's money.
And then I walked past.
Yeah, you walked past in the middle of that story. And you looked at me like, you got a mate? And I was like, oh my God, I cannot wait to tell him what's happening. But yeah, so that's,
Money.
I went home and wrote a song about
Money.
it because I was like,
Money.
no one has ever said, yeah, that's money to me. I'm like,
so
and then,
sick.
like, within,
What a phrase!
Yeah.
That's actually gas.
Yeah.
Money. That's money.
Money. So now, like, in my friendship group now, whenever one of us does a thing that we're like happy with, like we'll do a pub quiz every now and then. If someone gets one right, they'll turn to the group and go, money.
That's good.
So, I love how it's kind of
good.
becoming a thing.
Yeah, that's
and now
money.
he's just a character at the gym. Like you've got
to point him out.
mate. You'll
The
know.
only other
The
guy-
thing is, you'll know it's him. I won't even need to be there. You'll see him and you'll go, that's money, man.
The only guy I know at the gym is the guy I had a long chat about Bruce with.
Yeah.
Oh, you've told me.
But I can't quite remember if it was him or not. And so we keep looking at each other and going, but I'm like, I think it was
It's
him.
definitely him.
I'm going to bring up
I would
Bruce next
imagine
time I
so.
see him.
Oh my God. The thing is, you'll go to the gym and you'll just
There's
see
characters every time. at the gym.
you'll see a guy and he'll just be like a bit like he'll have an aura to him. He has the money aura.
I used to go to a different gym with Freddie, and we had a list of all the characters, and we had
They're great.
points for how rare they won. The rarest one.
gave them rarity.
No, because we'd always score the gym in points. Because we'd also go in the sauna, and in the sauna you'd have long chats with people. The worst one, I'm not sure.
Why was he having steamy chats with people at the gym?
No, because whenever you're in the sauna, like there's like loads of people in the sauna. And the highest point one who was awful was racist sauna man.
Oh,
Because
that's rough.
every time, no matter the people in the sauna, no matter the vibe, he'd come in and he would like twist the word. We'd be like talking about nature, and he'd be like, "Yeah, nature's crazy, isn't it? I swear down, Labour's making this nature worse, man." And we had been in the sauna with him like 8, 9 times, and there was one time where there was an American woman who like had enough. He was like, "I don't want to talk about this," and no matter what, he would talk about. And he did this, and I went to this gym for about a year and a half. And I'd see him 2-3 times a month, and it must have been more. Every time he'd come in the gym, and no matter what, and we tried changing the subject, and you change it for a minute, and then you bring it back. No matter what,
The
you
gym is
always
just
talk about.
hotspot for this type of stuff. I had someone who came up to me, like beautiful man, long hair, curls, and he came up to me and he was like, "Oh, I've seen your videos on YouTube," and I was like, "Oh, wow, that's great." And he's like, "You can't get away with saying a lot of that stuff, though, can you?" And I was like, wait, sorry, who do you think I am?
Woke has
Like,
ruined us.
No, I was like, oh God, what is he? Who does he think I am, or what does he think I've said? And so then I like went about the gym. I just didn't really respond. I was like, haha, yeah. Walked away. Next day, I come into the gym, or like a week later or so, I walked past him and like, it would be rude of me to just ignore this man. So I went past him and I was like, "Oh, hey mate, how's it going?" Aired me. So clearly he went home and looked up whoever he thought I was and noticed it wasn't me.
Oh man,
Damn.
Fuck me. And now he's always there, and we just don't really talk about it.
you got to point them out to me because we go at, like nearly the
Oh,
same time.
yeah.
I don't
We
really
cross
go.
over.
I just box.
You could go to our
Yeah,
gym
there's
is
a
very-
boxing bit in our gym.
Maybe then.
It would be
Because I
awesome.
don't have any characters. I'll be honest.
Our
Oh,
gym is
mate.
Our gym's great.
I don't have any
There
characters.
are so many characters, and they're just like all, but they're like it's really sweet because
Harry
there's-
goes to this gym as well, and Zoe. This is like the Brighton YouTubers gym.
Wow, well now I'm getting a bit pissed off.
And there's some sweet people that go there. Like there's some older people that go there and like strike up conversations with other older people at the gym. Like it's a really nice.
Yeah, there are. Yeah,
It's
really,
great.
This
Like
is a really
there's
good gym.
weird character. Well, not weird characters. There's eclectic characters, and then there's like just like a good community of people as well.
All right, well,
And the fucking people who run it, sometimes if your form is shit, they will come up to you and help you out, which is really
that's nice.
Yeah.
That is nice.
I'll get us back on topic, shall I?
Yeah, sorry.
We spoke about
Yeah,
the gym
idiot.
for fucking
Yeah,
ages.
sorry,
sorry, yeah,
idiot.
yeah,
No, it's
people are gonna
alright.
love that.
Well, no, I actually wanted to know from you. You've been on the internet a fucking long time,
Yeah,
right? And
Back to the internet.
yeah.
back to the internet.
Sorry, Jack, that was undermining.
All right. Anyway, back to the internet though.
Back to the internet.
I want to know what, like, you've been on YouTube specifically for quite a long time.
Yeah.
What's your favorite era of it? Would you say that you were involved in,
Ooh.
or maybe to watch, or maybe you
Ooh.
answer both?
Oh wow. I'd say to watch. I loved like the PewDiePie era of like the old like Happy.
Which era of
Wheelsy-
PewDiePie? It was around for a while.
The Happy Wheelsy kind of like horror.
Oh, like
part.
2013.
When gaming YouTube first like popped off, I thought that was
Sure.
That
Okay.
was fantastic. And like that was an era of YouTube where like YouTubers would play a game and then you'd go and buy the game. And like that was great.
Mm.
It was a
And I
very
love that.
symbiotic sort of relationship.
In terms of making content, just the amount of people that were indoors during COVID, like it kind of meant that you could go on and play Among Us with friends and just make a video out of that and people would watch it. And like I remember thinking that was great. Like that was like the time where weirdly it felt the most communal.
I
Yeah.
definitely felt that. Yeah.
Yeah, COVID definitely. I feel like I make so much content by myself now compared to COVID, where I felt like everything was with
But
someone.
everyone was just on.
Everyone was just around. You just message, be like, I want to do this tonight. Who's around? And you could find 10 fucking creators.
Everyone's Google
immediately.
Calendar was just like sad and just like
Yeah.
empty.
Yeah, it was sort of just filled with like, be miserable for a bit. And if anyone came in with a task, you'd be like, great.
And I was-
A little
I-
bit time away from being miserable.
I was indoors so much. Like I didn't even really go on any of those walks that we were allowed to do. There was a point in time where I'm pretty sure I didn't leave the house for a month. Like I was like literally just.
I'd go like 4 days and then do a 7-minute walk and then do 4 days.
Well, I lived in East London. So it was like,
Yeah,
whereas wherever I
crap.
would be walking would just be buildings anyway.
Yeah,
like there
to be
weren't really
fair.
That must have been a
parks
tough.
that
London.
area of London that you lived
Horrible.
in is particularly shit
Was
to
it
walk
tough?
around.
Yeah, I mean, there's like even I think on the podcast that we've done before, that my skin was just in an awful state.
I was
because, like,
literally, as we were filming it, I thought that.
that's mental. Did you
That's
actually?
actually terrible.
No, I was like 16.
Yeah, no, but my skin was in a horrible state, and I thought I had like really bad like skin issues, and then I kind of moved to Brighton and was walking
Just went
outside
outside,
more,
didn't
and
it?
it was like the sun just went like finally. But yeah, it's weird. I don't. I think YouTube in its current state is actually fine. Like I know people like to kind of talk about YouTube as this kind of like now it's very corporate and stuff, but I actually think you
No.
can kind of get away with a lot more. Like I'm making content now that I would have watched like 10 years ago where I'm just trying different foods and people watch it.
No,
It's pretty
I think there's a
well-rounded
lot
now.
of
Yeah.
there's a lot of options these days in a way
Yeah.
that there actually hasn't been for a while. I think like there's sort of a lot of healthy sort of ecospheres littered around the
Yeah,
place, which
because
is cool.
they give you better options to push your videos now. Like the kind of like multiple thumbnails things.
True, very true.
It's a lot easier to know how to push a video on YouTube.
That's a very good point.
And it feels like it's its own climate compared to like TikTok and Twitter and Instagram. Like YouTube still feels like you can be a creator that doesn't really have a presence on any of the other platforms, but make YouTube videos and they will perform well.
You can do, yeah.
Yeah. So I think YouTube in its current state I actually really like, but I don't know if that's weirdly controversial now.
It's a hot take for us.
It's a hot. No, well, I see what James. I like the elements he's talking about. But I think the bigger elements, you
It's a
know,
hot take for me.
the creators you look at on YouTube that are like the very, very biggest. I think this is the worst era of that.
Yeah.
You know, like whenever you over the years when you
There's no
picked out who was at the
PewDiePie.
top.
No, yeah.
There's no lawful good at the top.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
it
I was-
is just sort of corporatism at the top, and that's a bit.
I
miserable,
was
but-
never in any group. I was never the biggest, and like,
Me neither.
and I think that's like one of the sobering things about YouTube for me now is I can kind of do it on my own, and I don't feel like I need to be getting like millions upon millions of views.
Yeah, I've really settled into that feeling of like I actually have no urge to be any bigger than I am. I just enjoy my little pocket,
Yeah, it's like-
and that's like the first time I feel like YouTube for the longest time felt like about growing all the time, and
Yeah.
this is the first time where the only thing I actually feel very desperate to grow is this podcast because I enjoy it a lot, and I just
But
want
it
more
is
people
growing.
to see it.
And I think that's
and
great.
the Patreon.
$7.
$7. But we actually there's a bonus episode every week, and now there's the Jacktivities there now, little vlogs.
Jacktivities, it does just sound like a lonely Wednesday evening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to be fair, maybe we'll do
Yeah.
one of them.
Yeah,
no,
like a bit of a
it is
lone
Patreon.
time.
You're allowed.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
You can do whatever you want on Patreon. You can do nude stuff.
That's not.
No, I'm not saying we should.
But maybe when we hit like 20,000,
Patreon.
solicit it. Yeah,
That would be
Solicit it. Pardon?
it would solicit that.
Is that correct?
in a,
Is that the correct use of
Let's
language?
not get hung up on the grammar.
All right. Well, fine. I'll get on to my next question. I was really into your side of YouTube in sort of like 2016.
yeah, we've spoken about this. Like commentary.
Yeah, I was really. That was like. I feel like that was the most into YouTube I ever felt. It felt like because obviously it was like sort of the next wave that I sort of hopped in on. I started
Yeah.
streaming around 2019, and like it felt like it was the first time that the back end of YouTube was actually. It felt like everything was public all the time. I felt like I knew so much.
Yeah.
It felt like when I got into YouTube, I had so much prior context, which was quite useful. But like. It also looked like a fucking hellscape to be a part. I'm just so
Oh,
curious about that time and how it was to be part of it. Because I feel like I know it, but I probably don't.
Promotion on YouTube was very different then. Like it was like now you can kind of get momentum on like a tweet, and then if you post a video about that thing, it will do well. Like it's like a weird like kind of there's almost like a hive mind between all of the social medias that kind of like pushes content to do well on individual platforms. Back then, it was a lot more kind of regimented and rigid in a way that it's quite hard to explain. But the
It was
way
like
that
peak clickbait as well. Like
yes,
peak
so
crazy
you had
title.
to be clickbaiting. I remember there was like genuinely a point in time where there's a guy called Elvis the Alien who recently reached out to me being
I
like,
used to watch Ava. Oh,
yeah, this is the thing. So he reached out to me and was like, he complimented me on music and stuff. And I was like, this is a really weird one because without him, I wouldn't have been like, I wouldn't have had a certain push at a certain time because I was in group chats where you'd analyze and you'd work out what creators were about to post a video and on what they would post. Because if you posted a video within an hour of their one on the same topic, you would be the up next. And literally, like, they would post their video and your video would be the up next and you get like 5,000 to 10,000 views. And if you were making a similar type of content, people would just subscribe back then. It was really like,
Was it-
really intense.
Because for me, it feels like people cared a lot less about analytics back then. Before all
It
the
does,
YouTube
Not in
2016, it does not
commentary.
seem it at
Commentary
all.
was very much like,
so numeric.
I was, the way I got my first 1,000 subscribers was by commenting on Jacob Sartorius music videos saying, this song is so bad, watch my video on it.
Oh wow, I remember that.
And then I'd go through on multiple accounts and I'd like my comment on it on
It's
something
very
else.
like just consistently been a very like shameless.
Yeah, and
yeah, that
commentary-
hasn't changed. It's gotten better, but not much.
But commentary, and then I had a collaboration with someone. I had 4,000 subscribers. I had a collaboration, and something you could do on YouTube back then was like they would do the first half of the video, then they'd just invite someone else to come and do the second half.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I was just the second half of someone else's video on Lil Tay, I think, and in that video, I went overnight from 4,000 to 20,000 subscribers. Because if you were a creator back then and you went subscribe to them, people would just do it.
it. Yeah. It was
They
like
would just,
mindless.
like it was just like, okay, boom. And then from then it was just like rinse and repeat, commentary.
Yeah. How was it like community wise though? I think that's what I'm more.
That came with time. Like it's so hard to build community if you're just on your own. Like as a creator, if you need to like at least have a partner or like someone you make videos with, like you have the podcast hosts, right? Like people are far more likely to.
Fucking mate, that was a punch. Just punched me.
It's passion, man.
That was not bad.
Because we're communal. We're communal,
my
mate.
fist.
We're fucking
It's not a
communal.
bump.
all the talks on Creator Clash, getting you interested.
I'd rather kill myself. Sorry, I was hoping something different would come. But no, I'd hate to do that.
But I
enjoyed
ultimately think like
But I felt like such a, because Shelby messaged me like, would you be interested in doing it? And I was like, I'm not the fighting type. But I said it first thing in the morning, and then I was like, oh, I hate how that text
but you're going
looks.
to the gym now. You're going to be wham.
I remember my dad, when he found out about all the fights, said in my dad's voice, he said, Tom, promise me you'll never do anything as stupid as that. I said, of course, Dad. He went, thank you.
I did it.
I know.
I can't believe he would say that.
But yeah, I think then it was a matter of like over time you build community. Oh, I'm sorry. Well,
Sorry,
look,
Jack.
we're all here for you, Jack.
Yeah.
And I think that's
I thought it was cool, you know, watching you fight.
I thought
It's
it was
changed
cool
your nose,
doing
though,
it.
hasn't it? Forever.
Yeah, my nose has changed forever, but it's also
Wait, really?
changed me forever.
Is it deviated?
It deviated slightly, yeah.
Oh man, I did rugby as a kid, and now my nose is like proper, like in the middle. It's just like a big old bump.
I already had a big old bun, thank fuck. So it just made it a bit worse.
Me last night.
Of the gear.
I think,
Yeah,
I think
of
what
the
we might
gear.
do is
He
like,
got off the drink and onto the gear.
like what they used to do in YouTube. I think we might just let you host the Patreon. you just rattle off singers.
We'll just
like that.
leave and you can just rattle them off for 45
minutes. Yeah.
Right, well, look, we've came to the end of our first half. However, it is only a half. It's not the end because we're about to move to the Patreon.
However, we have a closing segment.
Oh, you're right.
How could you forget? Everybody, how is the worm doing? James, if you would like to inspect the worm.
Oh
Now,
my
the worm
God,
was
of
very
course.
excited by Dan and Phil.
If I drop him,
That's bad.
That's very bad. The worm's doing bad.
bro,
You got to find him
are
first.
you fucking with me? There's
He
no worm in
He
here.
might not be excited to see. He was very
He
excited
might be
to see
hiding.
Dan
He was
and Phil.
very excited about Dan and Phil.
Like, really, look, we've never seen him. Or her, or them.
Yeah, we're not sure, actually.
Not sure.
But always he,
Guys,
him
I can't
to work.
lie. I think this worm might be fucking dead.
Actually,
No.
are all worms them? Because they don't have they're not boys or girls, are they?
Is that true?
Guys,
Don't know.
Yes.
there is no worm.
Let me have a look. Let me have a quick
Hold on,
inspection.
I'm having a gander, but
Oh, okay. Well. Don't be so conclusive early then.
sorry. Guys, I think this worm might be fucking dead. I can't.
It's not dead.
It's
It'll
obviously
just be
not
in
dead.
the
It's got
dirt,
cabbage at the
won't
top.
it?
Well, how'd you get him out?
We don't get him out.
You don't get him out. He stays in there.
He stays in there.
It's
We
a
just
house,
watch him.
mate.
Well, no, but how'd you get him to come to the sides?
We don't.
He
He
just
just
usually
does.
is,
He's a
don't
worm.
they?
He's got his own fucking
He's
shit.
got
going
free
on.
will and stuff.
Besides the small box he's in forever.
Yeah, he's
Like-
got
Yeah.
free will to move around the
Do you
box
reckon
he's
you'll
in.
upgrade his box if you get to a certain amount of patrons?
No,
Nah,
no. That's a very generous box for a worm. Could
Do
be
you
a
reckon?
cut. Yeah.
could be just living in here.
Would you have had me on the podcast if I was a worm?
Probably not. No, due to your lack of questions that you'd be able to answer.
Lack of answers.
It's not very nice.
Oh, sorry. Yes, you went on to say answers. Sorry.
Hey,
I
it's all right. It was a
answered
little undermining, but it's okay. I undermined you earlier, so we get one
Yeah.
undermine.
Guys,
for
there's
one
no worm in
undermine.
here. Are you messing with me?
No, there should be. Let me have a look. There should be. We've never messed with any of our guests ever.
I don't want to.
Except for Jack Septic, he was awful.
Why do you keep doing this bit? He's lovely. I had a lovely.
He
chat
came
with him.
in. Joe Hazar, the cameraman,
Yeah,
he hit him.
he really.
He
How
socked him
hard?
in the head. Just socked him in the face for no reason. He just said, "Come here, come here, come here, come here,"
Bam.
and then he said, "All right, I'm ready to film." Jesus.
there? Worm at the top. He's out.
Let's see.
He's coming out. He's at the top, James. You see this?
Congratulations, Mr.
Wait,
Worm.
this is a James. James, you get to hold the wiggling worm. Show the audience.
Oh my god, he's coming out of the top. That's
what I'm saying.
mental. Does he ever do this?
He did for Dan and Phil.
First time for Dan and Phil, and then he's just been on it ever since.
Oh, maybe it's like a thing that he does for his favourite guests.
Maybe. Well, you're the second guest he's ever
Oh
done it
wow,
for.
Mr. What's his name?
Microphone. You remember you call him microphone.
Oh, that's a horrid name. That was when I didn't care about the worm. Now he's fucking. Now we should call him
Reginald.
Give him a better name now. He's a cool.
Reginald.
Reginald Spark Finger.
Reginald Sparkfinger it is.
Reginald Sparkfinger. What?
Reginald Spark.
But he doesn't have fingers. He's
He's
a worm.
like one long
Yeah,
finger,
it's like one big articulating finger.
but he's got that spark.
Oh,
He has
wow.
got the spark.
Well, that's cool. Nice worm.
Thank
Right
you
then,
very
well, we're
much.
going to move.
He's doing well. He's wiggling around
Nice worm.
as we'd expect.
Heard. Oh. Right, we're going to move over to
Before
our.
about my penis. Right, guys.
Thank you for completing it.
Let's move over to the Patreon where James has plenty more to say. Perhaps he has secrets to tell us. We like to say that.
What the fuck is that?
Chad, do some more marketing.
I'm doing
Do
marketing.
some more hooks.
Like, I'm just saying, maybe.
Perhaps he has some secrets to tell us.
Maybe James has some opinions on
Maybe.
some hot topics.
And maybe some zingers along the way.
James is maybe going to elaborate on things that you wouldn't expect him to, and you have to pay for it. So $7 is what it is to jump over there, and there's an extra episode
And if
every
you
week.
want, by the way, you can not pay for $7 and just enjoy your next 45 minutes being shit.
Yeah, exactly. You're probably going to.
And if you want to watch Jack straight up be jacking it for Jack.
No, I have jacktivities. I don't jack off.
no, but
off.
you're
I did
jacking
flower
it.
arranging
He's
wrong.
jacking it. You know, that's,
I've not done any
it's-
jacking off in the
it's Jack.
jacktivities yet.
he's jacking it on Patreon. You know.
James, stop that.
Let's make the sound, guys. James, join us. You're a singer.
That's a really good end to the first.
We're going to move over to the Patreon. Patreon!
Yo.